Hi, I am so excited that you're back to hear how Christy Demetrakis wraps up her art of conquering fear, sharing with us what the T in the acronym ART stands for. I'm your host, Maria Tomás-Keegan, and this subject of conquering fear is near and dear to my heart because I have struggled with fear many times in my life, and my clients do too. That's why Christy is here, to help us find ways to deal with the fears we face every day. So far in this series of chats, Christy has introduced to us her concept of the art of conquering fear. So if you've missed the first three short videos, I invite you to watch them. You can go to my website and catch the ones you've missed. The art of conquering fear. The A in the acronym ART represents acknowledging, and the R stands for root cause. And today, Christy is going to share what the T means. Hello, Christy.
Hello, Maria.
So please reveal to us, what does the T stand for?
The great reveal. The T is all about taking action. So we talked about faith to conquer fear, and conquering is an action verb. Yes, it's an action word. And so the T is all about taking action because that is the next step after you've acknowledged you have fear, you understand the root causes of those fears. The next logical step is to do something about it.
That makes perfect sense. And as a coach, I'm all about talking about my clients taking action. It's the only way we can make things happen for us and move us forward. So, what are two actions someone can take to overcome their fear?
Yeah, there's a few that I mentioned in the book, but two, I actually want to say three, Maria. I'm going to just, be a little aggressive and give you three instead. So the three that I really like is imagine the outcome you desire. In the last video, I talked about the conference that I hosted and the fear that I had leading up to that conference. And one of the things I had to think about all the while that I was afraid and fearful about whether people were going to show up for that conference is I was already picturing in my mind what a successful day would look like. And so that's the thing that kept me going is this is what it's going to look like. This is what the speaker is going to say. This is how the people are going to respond. And so imagining the outcome you desire is certainly one step to consider, or one action step to consider. Another one is don't let the momentum subside. And this one I really have to take to heart. And what I mean by that is if you think about, and we'll just keep going with the conference theme just because that was the example I gave you. But if you think about planning a conference or planning an event or going to school, going back to school, there are little milestones along the way that you hit. It's not just, I think I'm going to do this conference, and then 4 months later, we're there and we're having this big event. You have to not let the momentum subside in the sense that as things are happening and good things are happening, you got to keep it moving. You got to celebrate those little milestones as they come because that energizes you to keep going. And I say this is a challenge for me because I tend to just look at the end goal and all the milestones. I go, yep, okay, yep, on to the next. Okay, yeah, okay, that's good. But let's keep moving, right? I'm so far picture, end result oriented that I forget to, look at those individual steps and celebrate those. And then let those fuel my momentum so I don't get discouraged. Because anytime you're trying to conquer fear or accomplish anything big, as you know, there will be great things that happen and there will be some major setbacks. Mm-hmm. And what happens when you let those setbacks become bigger than the milestones, you stop, you quit. That is not what we want to do. So we don't want to let that momentum subside. Once you start the ball rolling, once you start to take action, keep going, just keep going. And then the third bonus one I'm going to give you is surrounding yourself with people who support you. And that probably should have been the first one I said because it is so important. And I know everybody does not have the benefit of a supportive husband or a supportive spouse or, a good friend that kind of helps them get through things. But somebody, whether they're related to you or not, will help to support your ideas. But what comes with that is you have to tell people. So people can't support you if they don't know what it is you're trying to do. And this is a lot of what fear is about. It's a lot of what your dreams and your goals and your visions are about as well. When you think about, nobody supports my dreams. Well, have you told anybody what your dream is? And many times we're afraid to tell someone, because that gets back to those fear statements I said earlier, because now you have an accountability partner, somebody who's going to be asking you questions. And we don't want that either, because then we actually have to do something. So, it's all about surrounding yourself with people who encourage you and support you, whether that's a spouse. I have the most supportive husband in the world. I tell him, I said, honey, there are some things that I suggested you really should say no to. You really should not. Everything I say is not a great idea, but I love him for it, because he encourages me and he pushes me. But I would encourage you to join organizations, support women's support groups, anyone that can help you to get to where you're going. So it doesn't have to look like a spouse or a friend. It can be another group of women. It can be podcasts just like this that help to support you and get you where you want to be.
That's so important. It is one of the things that I talk to women about all the time. So you're right. Not all of us are fortunate to have supportive partners in life. I happen to be another one like you, who thankfully my husband is that way for me as well. But these people you mentioned, it doesn't have to be someone you are close to, right? It doesn't have to be a friend or a spouse. It could be a mentor, someone who has done what you've done, what you want to do, who can teach you how, or a coach who has taught others how to do what you want to do. It's so important to surround ourselves with support, a support network, what I like to call our personal board of directors, who can help us do what we aspire to do and do what we envision we want to do. It's so important, so important. I just love, I love all of your actions that you've suggested here. So can you tell me what would be the most important factor in overcoming fear?
In my opinion, the most important factor is having the desire to overcome it.
Ah.
You have to want to.
Yeah.
You have to realize that there is an issue, that there is a barrier that is keeping you from doing whatever that thing is that you're not doing. But you have to just want to. I mean, that's with anything else. I think about exercising. Yeah. I've joined the gym, like most people. I join a gym and I quit the gym. I join the gym, I quit the gym. But once you get in the habit, and once you have a desire to have an end result, I mean, I have a goal of, I just want to lose 5 pounds. I'm not being aggressive. I just want to lose 5 pounds so I can fit back into most of the things in my closet. But I have to want to do that. And in order to have that desire to reach that end goal, then I have to desire to make a change. And that change is, I have to change my eating. I have to make sure I'm going to the gym on a consistent basis. So to me, it starts with the desire. You have to want to change.
That's so important. That's so, that's an insight that not everyone thinks about. Having the desire is more than wishing and wanting and making New Year's resolutions, right? You really have to have the desire, deep desire, to make the change happen, and then you need to move toward it. So I love the fact that you've written 2 books about conquering fear, and most importantly, using faith to assist in the act and the art of conquering fear. Christy, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the time, and always I'm happy to share this message, because I do believe it is so, so important for people.
Yeah, I agree. Your personal story has been very powerful. You've shared some great examples of how this journey worked for you. And although fear can stop us in our tracks if we let it, you've offered us a simple way to think differently about our fears and simple steps so we can take action to conquer them. So thank you so much. And if anyone wants to read a chapter of Christy's book, she's very generously offered a free peek to all of you. It's called Faith to Conquer Fear, The Journey. And to request it, take note of the link at the bottom of this screen and or click on it in the description below the video. You're going to love it like I did. Thank you, Christy.
You're very welcome.
I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan. Till next time.